My topic of today's presentation will be on hydroelectric power generation and CIE analysis. So, agenda of today's presentation will be to discuss about introduction to this topic in detail, introduction, then followed by the basic fundamentals in the field, types of softwares and its evolution, simple demo and case studies, followed by career path and job opportunities, and job roles and responsibilities pertaining to CAE analysis. So before introducing to the topic, first I would like to know about what is actually hydroelectric energy. Since the topic is also related to hydroelectric power generation, so let us understand first what is hydroelectric energy. It is the electricity generated by building dams which force water to turn machinery. That is, it is mainly using hydraulic machines. So what is hydraulic machines? A machine which uses fluid to perform work. Okay, hydraulic machines can also be defined as a machine which either converts hydraulic energy into mechanical energy or mechanical energy into hydraulic energy is known as hydraulic machine. Like the machine which is converting hydraulic energy into mechanical energy is known as turbine, whereas the machine which is converting mechanical energy into hydraulic energy is known as pump, which is nothing but a power consumption device. Our topic of interest is on power generation devices. So let us understand this hydroelectric power plant layout, which is at the top right portion. You can see this figure. So it mainly consists of a dam to store water, penstock to carry water from dam to turbine, a turbine which is being coupled to the electric generator to generate electricity, and a tail race to store the water and send it to small rivers and ponds. Okay, so you can see here some notations are there. This representation is nothing but Hg, and this is Hf. This Hg, capital Hg, is known as gross head, and small hf is known as frictional losses. Okay, so the net head available in the dam from the penstock to till the turbine is nothing but will be given by hg minus hf. Okay, so hf is being given by Darcy-Weisbach equation as 4 FLV square by 2 GD. Okay, so power supplied at the entrance to the turbine, okay, is being calculated by power output as rho g qh by 1000 kilowatts. Okay, so the next figure, that is the right bottom side figure, shows how the hydroelectric power is being produced. That is, from the dam to this turbine, okay, how the passage of water through penstock is taking place, and the generation of electricity is being produced and transferred through these transmission lines to the household applications and industrial applications. Okay, so before proceeding to the next slide, I would like to just bring it to your notice that if you can see this type of blade, it has buckets, and this rotation, I'll just discuss. This is as per the classifications of turbines. Okay, so next, if we come across basic or broad classifications of turbine, the broad classifications of turbine is into 4 categories. Okay, remember that the types of turbine is different and the classification of turbine is different. Types of turbine, basically we put into real practice as 3 types, that is Pelton turbine, Francis turbine, and Kaplan turbine. Now our topic of interest is depending upon the electricity generation, how the classification of turbines will be, right? So the first and the foremost classification is according to the type of energy at inlet. All right, so As per the type of energy at inlet, we are classifying it into impulse turbine and reaction turbine. What do you understand by impulse turbine? Impulse turbine is nothing but if the energy available at the inlet is only kinetic energy. Okay, such kind of turbine is known as impulse turbine. Okay, you can take an example of this. This is nothing but an impulse turbine, or you can say this as Pelton turbine. Okay, so why you are designating with Pelton turbine? Because the scientist name Pelton has introduced this kind of turbine. Similarly, Francis and Kaplan are also, there after the name of scientist. Okay, so three types of turbines are there. So these are, as per this classification, only kinetic energy is being generated in such kind of turbine. Now, I to whom those who don't know kinetic energy, the best example is, kinetic energy is energy in motion, and you can take a best example as a free falling water. Okay, from for example, a mountain you can take, right? A dam you can take. A free falling water is nothing but it has, or it possesses kinetic energy. The next is reaction turbine. So what do you understand by reaction turbine? It is nothing but if at the inlet of the turbine the energies are kinetic and pressure energies, then such kind of turbine is known as reaction turbine. Okay, so apart from the kinetic energy, you also has pressure energy. The best example for those are Francis and Kaplan turbine. Okay, the next classification will be based on head. Based on head, it is being classified into high head turbine, medium head turbine, and low head turbine. All right. So what do you understand by high head turbine? High head turbine is nothing but which has a height from the dam to the turbine, okay, which has a height of more than 300 meters. Okay, so this is nothing but high head turbine. Medium head turbine, which has a height between 30 to 300 meters, is medium head turbine, and low head turbine has a head or height of less than 30 meters. The best example for high head turbine is this itself. Okay, so high head turbine means only kinetic energy is required. Okay, so the best example is Pelton turbine, whereas medium head turbine you can consider to be a Francis turbine, and low head turbine to be a Kaplan turbine. Okay, coming to next two classifications. Okay, the next two classifications are based on specific speed. It is again classified, sub-classified into three types: high specific speed turbine, medium specific speed, and low specific speed turbine. All right, so those who don't know, specific quantities does not have any units, so that is the reason I have not represented with any units. Okay, so what do you understand by specific speed? It is nothing but the speed with which the turbine runs in order to develop a unit power within a given unit head. Okay, so for example, you can take a dam which is to be sent at some particular speed, or right, with the height you are sending it, the rotation of the shaft takes place. So due to that rotation, it generates this speed. So that speed is in terms of RPM, and if you are having a head, through that particular head, and through that particular speed you are rotating, so that terminology is termed to be as specific speed. For high specific speed turbines, the best example is Kaplan turbine. For medium specific speed, the best example will be Francis turbine, and for low specific speed, it would be a Pelton turbine. Okay, you can observe the vice versa in case of head and specific speed. All right, so the next is based on the direction of flow of water. Based on the direction of flow of water, it is being classified into four sub classifications. Okay, first is tangential flow turbine. Tangential flow turbine, in the sense, you are using Pelton turbine over there, where you can see, it is being like, if you take this to be a previous case, this is the Pelton turbine. It comes and hits the buckets tangentially. That is, this circle is being formed and it hits, the water is getting heated in the tangential flow manner. So this example is nothing but Pelton turbine. Radial flow turbine, axial and mixed flow turbines, those sub classifications, the types favorable are Francis turbine and Kaplan turbine. Here you can see the water comes and tries to rotate, that is, it is coming radially inwards, and exit is axially outwards. So such kind of turbines are known as mixed flow turbines. All right, so just to give you an example of how the electricity is being generated from the dam, and what is the status of what is the status of India, okay, in hydroelectric power generation. The first and the foremost, the highest hydroelectric power dam is Tehri Dam in Uttarakhand, India. Okay, so which has an height of about 260 meters, length of about 575 meters, with a power producing capacity of around 1300 megawatts. Okay, so it has a total reservoir capacity of 4 kilometer cube. Okay, so this is the first hydroelectric power plant, and it has the highest capacity, okay, for electricity generation. The second is nothing but this second highest hydroelectric power plant is located in Maharashtra, named as Koyna Dam. Okay, it has a height of about 103 meters, length of 807 meters, with a power producing capacity of 1960 megawatts, and a reservoir total capacity is around 2.79 kilometer cube. Okay, so the third is nothing but it is a Sri Salem Dam. Okay, so it is third highest dam in India, which has an height of 145 meters and length of about 512 meters, with a power producing capacity of 1670 megawatts. It also has a reservoir total capacity of around 1.53 kilometer cube. Okay, so this statistics, I just want to compare these dams. As you can see, the variation in electricity generation, and these results can also be compared with numerical and analytical solutions. Okay, we'll come to know about what is numerical and analytical solutions as well. So before producing before coming to the next slide, I would just want to know the sources of electricity. Okay, so India, based on some statistics, has the sources of electricity generation. Okay, so what are they? So based on that, I have collected the data. That is, India uses electricity for hydro as of Jan 2018 census. That is around 45 gigawatts. Okay, so hydroelectric, you can see here different sources of electricity generation are there. By means of coal is the highest, then comes as is hydro, large hydro, small hydro. Okay, this in the pie chart you can see wind power, then solar, biomass, nuclear, and gas. Okay, so if you compare this hydro with this renewable energy sources, that is hydro, like it has, it is producing, as per the 2018 census, it is producing around 45 gigawatts, and the other renewable sources are appreciable much, that is it is producing around 63 gigawatts per year. Okay, so there is a plenty of scope in this improvement in hydroelectric power plants design. Okay, the now next come is the question, how we can connect this practical approach with numerical approach to improve its performance and produce required electricity. Please see this video to get an idea. It uses an ANSYS as a numerical and analytical package solutions. Okay, I'm playing it.
Case about technology disruption. As engineers, we simply call it change. Solving problems in the race for smaller, lighter, faster, cheaper. Over these past 50 years, one simulation tool has been synonymous with engineering simulation. It's ANSYS Mechanical, the industry standard. ANSYS was founded on mechanical, and finite element analysis. Ever since, we've provided engineers the power, accuracy, and flexibility they require. Ansys Mechanical is easier than ever to use, seamlessly integrating with your favorite CAD software. Contact creation is automatic. Meshing is simple, intuitive, and fast. Mechanical is advanced technology, bringing you the latest advancements in additive manufacturing, multi-body dynamics, crash simulation, and material data management. Ansys Mechanical is ready for the next 50 years, ready to set new standards, to find new ways forward, to engineer.
As you have listened, like this is nothing but a CAE approach, which is far much faster, easier, cheaper, and reliable. Okay, when compared with, you can just try to go through different approaches. I will just explain in further slides. That is experimental approach. Okay, so now we'll come to know different ways of solving any problem with respect to a professional industries working environment is categorized into three ways of solving problem. Okay, the first and the foremost way is theoretical or analytical approach. Okay, this solution is exact and uses theories and related equations. Like if we consider those who know Newton's law of viscosity, it is related to mechanical engineering. Okay, so and viscous behavior of particular fluid. Okay, it solves Newton's law of viscosity for a fluid flow problem. Okay, so next is the experimental approach. What is experimental approach? It performs experiment to understand the process and relation between different parameters. Okay, so different parameters, like for example, if we can take a wind tunnel. Okay, experiments in those wind tunnel, how the aerofoil is being kept for a particular geometry. Okay, and how the optimization is done to that particular geometry in wind tunnel. We can take into consideration different shapes of turbine blades, automobiles, ship, planes, and many more. All right, so next is nothing but numerical approach. So what is numerical approach? So the solution is approximate in this case and saves effort, time, money, and you can also redesign and optimize product out of it. Okay, so next is coming to this CAE software and their tools. Okay, so CAE softwares, you have in industries many softwares. Okay, just I am discussing about how the CAE software will perform several tasks with comfort. Okay, so the first is you can redesign, or any geometry can be redesigned for changes. That is, you can scale up and scale down the models. Scale up in the sense you are increasing the proportionate size to 1:5 or 1:10 or 1:15. Okay, depending upon your requirement. Or you can also scale down it. Like for example, you are considering an automobile of particular dimensions, so you can take a prototype of it. Prototype will usually scale down. Okay, so the size of an automobile will be entirely different from the actual size. Okay, you will scale down it and you will perform the simulations. Okay, so those will be with less effort, time, and cost. Okay, compared to the experimental work. Okay, next is you can build computer models to transfer for fabrication and in the CNC machines. Okay, so any prototype you have been developed in the CAD model, that is CAE, in CAE software, that can easily be fabricated nowadays in CNC machines. And you can also say like printing, 3D printing machines have also come into picture. Okay, next is you can analyze operating conditions on a particular geometry to get load, stress, velocity, and other parameters out of it. Okay, and you can also optimize a design before fabrication to reduce the fabrication cost. And the last is you can study physical responses such as velocity variation, temperature distribution, etc. Okay, so this type of CAE analysis have two different approaches. The first is you can write your own code, that is CFD code, to solve a specific problem. For example, writing MATLAB program to solve incompressible flow in a pipe. The second is using some commercial softwares, that is, you are using ANSYS Fluent, Star CD, CFX, OpenFOAM, COMSOL, etc. Okay, so ANSYS has flexibility as a design modeler, okay, and the meshing. Okay, we will come to know what is design modeler, meshing as a preprocessor, and the Fluent as the solver in next slide. Okay. So to solve engineering problems using ANSYS Fluent, there are necessary steps to be followed. First and the foremost thing is you should identify problem. Okay, so after identifying problem, okay, you should define a goal and identify its domain. Okay, which domain is it? Okay, so then the geometry and meshing is done in a pre-processing stage by defining physics and applying solver setting to it. Okay, and after applying solver setting based on particular compressive model, the post processing of results are being examined in post processing stage. Okay, so let us go in detail. Okay, first you are creating a geometry. Okay, whatever is the geometry that can be created, okay, using CAD packages. Okay, so ANSYS also has design modeler. You can design in that particular geometry is being created in the pre-processing stage. Okay, after that a mesh refinement studies should be carried out. That is, wherever the complex geometry is there, more mesh is being required over there, and the less mesh is usually required at the outer zones. Okay, so based on that you should carry out different types of mesh refinement studies. And next you should also after this setting up, some parameters should be designed, and some parameters you should give the inlet parameters, so that based on that the multi-phase or non-Newtonian or Newtonian models are being created, and it's been okay compared with the mesh geometry. Okay, so that is the reason I said you mesh refinement studies. It is nothing but you are carrying out a same model in three different meshes to know the actual behavior is deviating how much percentage. Okay, then after that you are simulate post processing the simulations to get the required output parameters. Okay, the next is nothing but a case study for you to understand clearly how the CAE approach works. So let us take a case study to understand numerical approach more easy. Okay, so in this case study, a Pico hydraulic turbine is designed and simulated for electric power generation in residential units. Okay, so Pico hydraulic turbine system is nothing but it is nowadays a booming technology that takes advantage of small waterfalls and streams to generate electricity in a clean way. Here, the model is created in SolidWorks and is being simulated in ANSYS CFX software. Okay, since the boundary condition influence the operation of the turbine, which is why three runs were carried out corresponding to 3 points of operation, so as to obtain the output pressure and hydraulic power. We can see here, this turbine has 12 straight blade rotors. Okay, so this is being designed in SolidWorks and imported to the ANSYS software. You can see the results, that is both figure and graph shows how the pressure changes through the turbine for each point of operation. The figure 4 shows the pressure plane through the turbine. This is the beauty of CAE analysis. That is the variation you can see by different colors. Okay. Here the author have not clearly identified for three different pressure. If he has, kept the legend constant, you can also see the behavior of three different operations in another three colors. Okay, so we can see like in operation point 1 the pressure drop. Okay, this is the x-axis is nothing but flow rate. We are increasing in terms of flow rate at point 1, point 2 and point 3. So the corresponding pressure drop at operation point 1 is around 500 pascals, whereas at point 2 it is around 34,000 pascals. Okay, and at point 3 it is around exceeding 1,54,000 pascals. Okay, so from this graph we can calculate the pressure drop. After calculation of this pressure drop, we can substitute in the power required formula. Power required is nothing but rho g QH or gamma QH. Okay, so this is one and the same, and we can get the power. Okay, so you can see this in the next slide. That is, I am getting through the simulation approach or the numerical approach. By analytical method I am calculating the power. Okay, so the author has calculated the power, and he got at operation point 1 0.073 watts, at point 2 38 watts, and at point 3 around 357 watts. It means that as the flow rate you are increasing for a particular turbine, the corresponding power also increases. So this is the conclusion which is being drawn from this paper, and the author successfully validated a numerical approach with the experimental approach. Okay, so the next case study which we can see here is based on CFD simulation to enhance the efficiency of centrifugal power by application of inner guide vanes. I'll just let you know before proceeding to how he has modeled. I am trying to infer from this particular paper, or from this particular research worker. He has listed down some conclusions. That is, if you are using the inner guide vanes. What is guide? Okay, those who is just giving a track. Okay, so this is guide. Inner guide vanes is nothing but to the centrifugal fan. What he is trying to do is he is trying to guide the air which is entering into the centrifugal fan through the different vanes. Okay, so as to resolve this non-uniformity of flow and get rid of vortices. Previously this inner guide vanes was not used in this centrifugal fan. Okay, and the risk in the experimental work was also more. So that is the reason through this numerical approach the author tries to solve the problem and justified that the purpose to use inner guide vanes okay, is to save the energy and to improve the performance of this centrifugal fan. Okay, so how he has done, let us come to the task. First he has modeling of this particular pipe with inner guide vane is done and without inner guide vane is done. This is being modeled in SolidWorks. Okay, so after modeling in SolidWorks, he has also with the same particular dimensions come up with the prototype of that inner guide vanes. Okay, used in centrifugal pump for his testing. Okay, so after this modeling he has imported into the AQ console software or of HyperWorks 12. Okay, then he analyzed in this particular software. This is also a CAE software used for a particular industry. Okay, so after that he has come to some conclusions. So if you can see this slide, so this slide shows you the eddy viscosity behavior of pipe flow with and without using inner guide vanes. Okay, as you can see here, the non-uniformity, okay, is there by using inner guide vanes. Okay, non-uniformity in the sense, before entering into the centrifugal fan, what is the velocity? The same is the velocity at mid plane, and the same is the velocity at outlet of the centrifugal fan. So you can see here, you are using inner guide vane here. The velocity from here drastically, is increased at the exit. Okay, from entrance to the exit. Okay, so this was not possible at all. Okay, if you are using experimentation work. So the author first tries to justify with the numerical or CIE approach. All right. So he has compared and has shown the static efficiency with respect to different volume flow rates. Okay, as far much better by using inner guide vanes and without using the inner guide vanes. Okay, efficiency is increasing if you use inner guide vanes, as you can see with red graph line, and without inner guide vane the efficiency quite decreases. The same is the case of here. If you are using inner guide vane, you can see the shaft power consumption depends on shaft power. Okay, so shaft power, if this is decreasing, then automatically your power consumption decreases, and the life of that centrifugal fan will be good. Okay, so that is the reason here it is less, means you are indicating that with respect to these two, okay, volume flow rates at different points proves to be correct in case of numerical approach. So the next case study, that is case study 3, what he has used in the case studies 3, finite element analysis of horizontal axis wind turbine is being used using this NACA 4412 blade series. Okay, those who don't know, wind turbine is also used for power generation. How it is used? Like, it is a renewable energy source. It is kept at some certain height, such that the wind comes and strikes the blade of the turbine, and it rotates. Due to the rotation, again the shaft which is there is coupled to the generator to generate the electricity out of it. So for that reason, the author, what he has done is he has taken this NACA blade series, that is NACA 4412, and studied different materials on it. Okay, the first material is glass fiber with epoxy resin. The second is aluminum, and the third one is teak wood. Excuse me. So the research work focuses on NACA 4412 series, and he has come to some conclusion. Okay, so based on different materials, he has studied how this is dependent on structural analysis like deformation, stress and strain, and how it improves the wind turbine service life. Just give me a moment. So next is, after comparison of these three different models, that is in terms of equivalent stress, deformation and strain, what he has come to the conclusion is, you can see from the graph that aluminum experiences, this is the aluminum, so it experiences less stress compared to other materials. Same was the case for strain and deformation. So he has selected aluminum as the best choice for the turbine blade. So with this, you have come to some like understanding. Okay, in industries, CIE approaches are being used, and not only in electrical but also in mechanical, civil, okay, and any software industries. For any manufacturing and production unit, you require, you know, a CAE approach to validate it first. After that, if you can do the experimentation with the prototype, it would be helpful. Okay, so the slide which here you see is nothing but Burj Khalifa, you know, building. Okay, so it is quite impossible to do the numeric what you call analytical approach. They have done it, but numerical approach is also, you know, in like past a decade was impossible to do. But thanks to this you know, CI tools, okay, CI tools helped a lot. This video shows that how the CFD simulation is being carried out on world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa, okay, by different wind load conditions. Those who don't know, you know, Burj Khalifa, it has a height of about 830 meters. 830 meters means, you can imagine, not even a single dam in India is of that height. Okay, so it is nothing but world's tallest building. It has 160-story building. Okay, and the weight of this particular you know, building is about, you know, weight of 1 lakh elephants. Okay, a single elephant has 6,000 kgs. Okay, so I'm just playing this video, just look at it. He has simulated by two different approaches and got the solution out of it. Okay, this is the second simulation of varying velocity profile. Top it is different, bottom it is different. The red color experiences, you know, the maximum range, and the blue color represents minimum range. Okay, so this was regarding the case studies. Now the roles and responsibilities of a CA domain person or an expert is, first we will come to about career path. Okay, and the job opportunities in this domain. Then we will come to know about roles and responsibilities. The CAE market has been first of all divided into FEA, CFD, multi-body dynamics, optimization, and solutions. So, you know, it can find career path in any simulation. Okay, in any simulation, in architecture, in chemical and process engineering industries, you find vast applications out of it. Okay, so the best example I can give you is, you know, Hyundai. Okay, R&D center, Wipro, okay, also uses this for, you know, different processing engineering industries and different simulations. Okay, next is any electronic or computer industries also before manufacturing uses CAE approach. Similarly, any HVAC industries also uses this kind of approach. Okay, so you can find a career path in you know, train locomotives, turbo machineries, okay, automobile industries, medical equipments also nowadays. Okay, so you also has you know, physiological applications including flow in lungs, cardiovascular systems also, and heart breathing passages. Okay, nowadays CAE also finds applications in this, and you can also work, or you can also choose this path if you are interested. Okay, so how this what is the basically the next question comes is how the roles and responsibility of this CAE domain expert will be. Okay, the first is he or she will perform different measures on different geometries. Okay, so just I have given Wipro as a example for in case of what you call simulation. He also uses not less than 50 employees, okay, to work on this particular task. Okay, so here he or she, okay, the individual person or the CAE domain expert should also have to simulate components by applying boundary conditions, okay, and determining the unknown parameters out of it. Okay, he or she should maintain records of the results obtained for a particular CAE simulations. Okay, he or she should identify, evaluate, and solve engineering problems. Okay, and he or she should interpret the data, design, and analyze fluid dynamic simulations. Like I have given different case studies. The three case studies which I have given to you was regarding only the simulations. So from the simulations, how you interpret data to the, either you take an example of Excel, Origin, MATLAB, so that is also plays an important role. Okay, and the CAE expert should be able to do it well. And the last is he or she should also formulate mathematical models for FAE, FEA, and CFD. Okay, so these are the roles and responsibilities. It is not necessary that you should be perfect in each and every six domains, six subdomains, I can say, of CAE. You can be expert in any one domain. Okay, based on that, you have different hierarchies in the industries, and you can get selected out of the expert domain which you have. Okay, so these were the references which I would like to thank, and these are the image credits. Okay.